Yo, what is up? This is DevineYGO, and going to be doing a deck profile on Myutant Ghoti, or Mutant Fish, since Ghoti is technically supposed to be pronounced fish, I think. At least that's what I've been told. But anyways, yeah, this is my Myutant Ghoti deck, and it's an idea I saw online. There's a fly here. Get out of here, fly. So this is a deck idea that I've been seeing going around, and honestly, I kind of got bored with my previous Mutant build, so kind of like left it on the left it on the side for a while, and then after seeing the Ghoti stuff being splashed into the deck, I was like, oh, you know what, that actually sounds kind of interesting. So I decided to build it. It's actually been pretty fun. I mean, honestly, if I was to say which build is better, Myutant Ghoti or the Mutant Dogmatica Shaddoll build that I previously was playing, honestly, I feel like the Dogmatica build is better competitively. But the Myutant Ghoti, it's a different way to play mutants, and honestly, it doesn't really have that bad of a matchup against Runics. Because Mutant and Ghoti, they're both archetypes that don't really care if their cards get banished. If anything, like the Ghotis, they want to get banished, so it's like, sure, Runic, banish my cards. I get free pluses. And then Mutants, they can use Mutant Cry to actually shuffle back the banished mutant cards back into the deck to fusion summon. So Runic does nothing to this deck. But yeah, this deck, I've been having quite a bit of fun with it. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say for this intro, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. So first of all, we're playing triple copies of Myutant MO5. On summon, this card allows you to search any mutant monster from your deck to your hand, and then you can, well, I guess I'll just show the other card as well. Triple copies of Mutant ST46, and this card on summon allows you to search any mutant spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And then they both share an effect where you can tribute this card on field as cost, and then also banishing a card from your hand or face up field as cost, and then special summon one monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card. So if you banished a monster card for cost, you can special summon Mutant Beast. If you banished a spell card, you can summon Mutant Mist. And if you banished a trap card, you can summon Mutant Arsenal. And the three of these boss monsters, they interact with different card effects. So Mutant Beast can actually banish a card from your hand or face-up field to negate the activation of a spell card your opponent activates and banish it. Mutant Mist, quick effect, when your opponent activates a trap card or trap effect, you can banish a card from your hand or face-up field, draw 2 cards. And the Mutant Arsenal allows you, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish a card from your hand or face-up field, target one monster on the field, and banish. And then we play triple copies of Mutant. So we play triple copies of this just because I want more consistency in seeing my mutant starter monsters, because I'm trying to get at least one of them out on field for my end board. So yeah, having 3 more copies of essentially ways to go into my mutant boss monsters, it's definitely nice to have. The only bad thing about this card is that whatever you summon, whichever boss monster you summon off of his effect, you burn for their attack. So if you summon Beast, you'll take 2400 attack, or 2400 damage. If you summon Mist, you'll take 2700. And if you summon Arsenal, you'll take 3000. So it kind of hurts. Sometimes it can cost you the game, but I really don't understand why they put that burn effect on. But yeah, these are the mutants we play for the main deck. And then for the Ghotis, I'm playing triple copies of Paces, Light of the Ghoti. And then I'm also playing triple copies of Schiff, Fairy of the Ghoti. And for the main deck, these are the only Ghotis that we're playing. And so how the Ghotis work with the mutants. So let's just say, for example, you have Mutant MO5. It can be ST46 as well. And you have either Paces or Schiff. It doesn't matter which of the Ghotis you have in your hand, because they'll essentially do the exact same thing for you. So you have MO5. You normal summon MO5, O5's effect to search whatever mutant monster you want, usually Mutant. Use O5's effect to tribute itself, banishing either Paces or Schiff from your hand, and then you'll summon out Beast from the deck or hand. Then during your opponent's standby phase, Paces or whichever, or Schiff, they'll come back out on the your opponent's standby phase. And then since they were special summoned on your opponent's turn, you can quick synchro into a fish monster. Let's say your opponent commits a couple of cards on board, then you'll use Pace's effect to quick synchro. And we'll synchro into the Ghoti of the Deep Beyond. And Ghoti of the Deep Beyond will, on synchro summon, will banish all cards on the field, including himself. And then during the next standby phase, after this card was banished, he will actually special summon himself back out onto the field. So that's essentially how the Ghotis actually function with the mutants. And then to end the monster lineup, we are playing the DPE package just because we can. DPE got reprinted, and I got my copies of Fusion Destiny, so I was like, you know what, I'm looking for a deck to splash the DPE package in. And honestly, it works just fine in this deck. Gives the deck another boss monster to just, interrupt your opponent and do other stuff. Onto the spells, I'm playing one copy of Mutant Evolution Lab. This can be a combo piece, but other than that, honestly, it's in the deck mainly just for a mutant target to summon out Mist from the deck. That's really about it. And then next we play one copy of Called by the Grave. Don't want to get hand trapped. We play one Dimensional Fissure because this actually helps the Ghoti aspect of the deck. So if you have Ghoti of the Deep Beyond on the field and you have Dimensional Fissure, Ghoti of the Deep Beyond essentially just doesn't die ever. Like if they keep removing it off the field, like destroying it or sending it to the grave or something like that, it'll always get banished, and then on the next standby phase, Ghoti of the Deep Beyond will always come back to the field. And then I play one copy of Gold Sarcophagus. This is essentially another way into our Ghoti combos or our Ghoti lines. So Gold Sarc, you're going to be using it to banish the Paces or the Shift from the deck, and then you'll have access to their effects during your opponent's turn. And then of course we're playing triple copies of Emergency Teleport. This is just more copies to access our mutant starters. And then we got triple copies of Super Polymerization, best interruption in the game right now, and also one of the best board breakers. Your opponent cannot interact with this card. And then triple copies of Fusion Destiny. I mean, sure, you activate the first one and DPE comes out, the other two become dead, but you can use the other two copies as banish fodder for your mutant effects. And then for the traps, we run triple copies of Mutant Cry. This is the fusion card, or pretty much the mutant polymerization. It lets you shuffle materials from the field, graveyard, and face-up banished into the deck, and then fusion summon a mutant monster from your extra deck. And then I play two copies of Mutant Expansion. So this card, on activation, it allows you to take a level 4 or lower mutant monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. And then I play two copies of Different Dimension Ground. Honestly, I would be playing a third one, but for some reason I can't find my third one. So yeah, we just playing two. And then we play one copy of Macrocosmos, because again, these cards pretty much help out the Ghoti aspect. Keeps Ghoti of the Deep Beyond floating back to the field after it's sent off. And that is the main deck. This is a 42 card deck. And now we will go on to the extra. So for the extra, we got two copies of Mutant Synthesis. This card, when it's if it's fusion summoned, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. And whenever your opponent activates a card effect, so if they activate a monster, you can chain Synthesis. Synthesis becomes unaffected by monster effects for the rest of the turn. And if you chain to an opponent's spell effect, Synthesis becomes immune to or unaffected to spell effects. And then if you're chaining to your opponent's trap card, this card becomes unaffected by your opponent's trap effects. And then we play two copies of Mutant Ultimus. So Mutant Ultimus is essentially a mutant Mechaba. So when a card or effect is activated, quick effects, you can banish one mutant card from your hand, graveyard, or face-up field as the same card typing as whatever your opponent activated, and then negate the activation of that card and banish. And then we play triple copies of Ghoti of the Deep Beyond, and we play triple copies just pretty much just in case we can't get it, or we can't banish it while it's in the monster zone, because that's the only way it can revive itself, is if it's banished in the monster zone. So what Ghoti of the Deep Beyond does is that the original attack of this card becomes 500 times the number of banished monsters, so including your banished monsters and your opponents. And then if this card is synchro summoned during your opponent's turn, you can banish all cards on the field. And then during the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished from the monster zone, you can special summon this banished card. So if you banish a lot of monsters, Ghoti of the Deep Beyond can become a really big beatstick. And on another note, honestly, setting up Ghoti of the Deep Beyond against certain matchups can absolutely just help you steamroll. Because I remember I was playing against Eldritch, and I went first, and I set up, I believe I set up Mutant Beast, Arsenal, and Paces came out during my opponent's standby phase. My opponent proceeded to set like 3 or 4 back row, I think, and then before he ended his main phase, I activated Paces' effect to quick sync into Ghoti of the Deep Beyond, banishing all his set cards. It was just devastating against them. But anyways, on to the next cards we run. I play one copy of Salamangreat Almirage, and 1 Secure Gardena. I'm still playing this. I played this in my Dogmatica version, just because you can link off your normal summoned mutant starters into Almirage and then go into Secure Gardena, and then you can banish Almirage in the graveyard to summon your Maximus and, you know, do your Maximus shit all plays. But in here, we're not playing that, so this is here just in case, like, for example, mutants or my starters get negated. You know, I don't want to just leave a 500 attack body on board, so we'll just link it off into Almirage, go into Secure Gardena to at least be able to soak up damage. And then next, I play 1 copy of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. Obviously, we're running the DPE package. You gotta run DPE. And then for the last 5, it's just super poly targets. So 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Garuda, 1 Guilty Gearfried. This was just my personal tech. Dragostapelia, and 1 Starving Venom. Honestly, there's probably a better option, or better super poly option than Guilty Gearfried, but I think we have like 2 at most. I think 2 or 3 hero players at our locals. I decided to mainboard in the extra Guilty Gearfried, you know, just in case I play against them at locals. Alright, so that is the deck profile. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show off 1 test hand to show you guys the hands you'll get realistically in this deck, and try to build the best board from it, or from what I draw. And yeah, let's just go ahead and give it a good shuffle, and we'll get right into it. And we are ready to go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we did not open up the greatest. So from here, all we can really do is we'll summon the 46 effect. We'll go ahead and search, because we already have Cry in hand, we'll search out the expansion. We'll go ahead and use 46's effect, tributing itself to banish the beast from hand, and this will allow us to summon beasts from the deck. We will then proceed to activate Fusion Destiny, so we'll be dumping the Dasher and Celestial from the deck to summon out our copy of DPE. We'll set the Super Poly, we'll set the Mutant Cry, and just so we for sure have a discard fodder for Super Poly, we'll actually keep the expansion in hand. And from here we pass turn. We have DPE to pop, and we'll have Mutant Beast to negate a spell card. We have Super Poly to go into any of our Super Poly targets, and we have Mutant Cry to be able to shuffle back the 46 in the graveyard and the Mutant Beast from the banish to summon Synthesis for a pop effect. And that would be the end for that test hand. And because I do want to at least show off the Ghoti stuff, I'll do a test hand with at least MO5 and Paces in my starting hand. So we'll go ahead and shuffle, randomize the next 3 cards and see what we get. And we will draw 3 more to finish to complete our starting hand. And let's see what we get. Well, we got another Paces. That's okay. So now I get the Ghoti stuff. But from here, we're gonna actually summon 05. 05's effect. We'll search out Mutant. We'll special summon Mutant using its effect, tributing itself, and then banishing. We're actually gonna banish our copy of Mutant Expansion to allow us to special summon out our copy of Mutant Arsenal from the deck. And with Mutant's effect, we will not burn, but will inflict 3,000 damage to us because of Arsenal's attack. And then we will use the effect of Mutant MO5, tributing itself, banishing Paces from the hand to go ahead and special summon out our copy of Mutant Beast. We'll go ahead and set the Mutant Cry, and then from here pass our turn. And then during our opponent's standby phase, Paces' effect will summon itself. And let's say our opponent activates a spell card, and obviously they're going to activate a spell card at some point, and we don't want them to use it. We'll use Beast. We'll banish itself to negate the activation of that spell card and banish it. And then we don't want to commit to our Paces effect just yet. We want to make sure our opponent commits a couple of cards on field, pretty much to optimize the effect of Paces. So before we go ahead and trigger Paces, we'll go ahead and use Mutant Cry at any point we need to destroy one of our opponent's cards. We'll shuffle back the Beast and the MO5 to go ahead and summon out the Mutant and Synthesis. And then Synthesis effect will target a card on field, destroy, and then whenever you need to, or your opponent's about to end their turn with, you know, a couple of cards on field. We'll use Pace's effect to quick sync into our copy of Ghoti of the Deep Beyond, banishing everything on the field. And then, yeah, you are left open here, and you do have to activate the quick sync effect during the main phase. But at this point, your opponent shouldn't have that much to work with, you know, like in terms of OTKing you. But if they do, yeah, they're just that good at the game. That's just unfortunate for you. But if they don't, they'll pass turn, and we'll just give it a cut before I draw. We'll draw for turn. Oh, Fusion Destiny, that's freaking amazing. Ghoti of the Deep Beyond will summon itself back out, and its attack depends on how many monsters are banished. But from here, we'll go ahead and just summon ST46. 46 effect to add the Cry, tributing 46 for its effect, and banishing the second Paces in hand. To go ahead and summon out Mutant Beast, activate the Fusion Destiny, dump Dasher and Celestial, summon DPE, and you'll be able to at least swing for 4,900. And then Deep Beyond, I mean, however many, again, its attack, it depends on how many monsters are banished. But yeah, that is my Myutant Ghoti deck, or Myutant Ghoti Heroes, D Heroes, Destiny Heroes, just because of the addition of DPE, because apparently that's what makes a deck considered a hero deck. But yeah, anyways, that's the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And this is DevineYGO signing out. Peace.